Live Monday music motivation. I think today's going to be a bit different where I don't have sort of a specific skill or thing to be talking about, but we're going to be asking some sort of hard questions about how things are going for you and what you're getting out of this. So the first thing that I want to ask is how has this process actually been going for you? And have you actually been using your template and filling it out and doing the work? Because that's what's so important about this whole thing. Is it's great to come here and listen to me talk about some stuff and think, oh wow, that's cool that like Josh is working on this. Yeah, that would sound great to have some structure and organization and planning to my practice and actually having practice time scheduled. Like, yeah, that'd be cool. But if you're just listening to it, sort of letting the information wash over you, but you're not actually doing it, then you're not getting nearly as much benefit as you could. It's all great to have these sort of aspirations of like, oh, maybe when I have more time, I can start using this template and doing regular practice or whatever sort of excuses or thoughts that you have. And I don't even think that they're necessarily excuses. I think that's maybe even sounds a little bit too harsh. Like it's just so easy to think like, yeah, that sounds nice. That's a cool way of doing it. Maybe I'm kind of already doing it. There's just so many things that can get in the way of really implementing this. So the first question that I want to ask is for you to leave a comment if you've actually been doing this. So if you watch these pretty much every week, and it doesn't have to be live, it can of course be watching the replay, but if you watch pretty consistently and if you fill out the template and schedule in your practice, I want to know in the comments. You can either just put a 1 in the comments if you just want to say like, yes, I'm doing it, or tell me a little bit about how it's going for you. Has it been helpful to have this kind of structure to it? Has planning it been good for you? Is there anything that you've adapted or added? I think that's a great idea to sort of shift up the template to whatever feels best for you. One example of that could be having the template for every day where you have a reflection on how yesterday's practice went, a goal for today's practice, and then the schedule of the when you're going to do it. And you can even get more nuanced with the schedule too, of like, I'm going to warm up for 20 minutes, I'm going to work on this piece and then this section, and etc. So it's up to you. You can totally adapt it, but I want to know in the comments if you're actually doing this and actually keeping up with it. So that's the first thing. You could also let me know in the comments if you thought it's a good idea but haven't fully committed to doing it, especially if you're going to make that commitment now and start doing it for real this week and getting serious about it. And of course, you also don't have to admit you haven't been doing it in the comments, but I want you to think for yourself, like, have you been getting as much out of these as you could? And what can you do to get more out of these so that they actually make a difference? And I think the key to having it make a difference is to actually fill out the template. So what I wanted to do was do a little bit of that together today so you can have a feel for exactly how to do it and hopefully feel motivated and inspired to do it yourself. So here's what the template looks like. Super simple. You can go to quickstartclarinet.com/get started to download this exact one, or just make it for yourself. So it starts with the date for the week, or you can do the date for the day again if you want to be more precise and detailed about it. But the date for the week, reflection of sort of where you're at, how things are going. So I already filled that out for mine because this is one that's like, you kind of have to know what you've been doing already to fill it out. So what I've been doing is working on learning a piece called Paragon by Teresa Martin. It's going pretty well. And last week I was focusing on getting the last 3 pages learned really comfortably. So not necessarily at tempo, nothing too crazy, just feeling 100% comfortable with how the music goes, even under tempo, and getting that sort of character and style and notes and rhythms and all the good parts of music in it. So that went well. My reflection is that working with the metronome was very helpful for getting that comfort to sort of keep me in check. So that's where I'm at. So now I get to make a goal for this week and what I want to accomplish. So at this point, I have the whole piece roughly learned. Now I need to go in there and start really getting it. So my goal for this week is going to be first page towards tempo. Maybe not necessarily at tempo, but gradually speeding up, gradually working it up towards tempo. Slowly, still comfortable, still in control, all that good stuff. I think the first page is maybe the most technically demanding. It's not super hard, but it just has some very fast runs that are sort of cadenza-like, but I also want to be really good with the rhythms on them. So that's the goal for this week. And again, your goal should be flexible for where you're at. Maybe it has to be a smaller goal than that, or maybe you can do more than that. I'm thinking about if I just want to do that, or do I want to add something else in there too? Yeah, I'm going to add something else and mix it up a little bit. I'm going to also do the Valerie Coleman sonatine that I've been working on. And I'm going to do the hard parts with the metronome. So it's a really simple goal of just some little chunks of the music, very specific, like this one page, these couple hard parts, and I already know where the hard parts are because I've learned that piece and know how it goes. And I'm just going to get in there and do those little things. And that's the beauty of it, is once you know what the things are, it's really easy to go in there and just get the work done without having to spend hours and hours and hours practicing, sort of finding random mistakes here and there and kind of sort of fixing them. So that's the goal that I have written down. Now, the last step, and probably the most important step, is to come up with your plan for when you're going to do that. So I literally will pull up my calendar and look at the times I'm available and the times that I like to practice. I'm kind of a more morning-ish practicer. I get a few important things done in the morning and then like to practice before lunch. So Tuesday at 11, I'm going to practice. I'm going to do Paragon on Tuesday. Thursday at 11, I'm going to do the sonatine. And I think that's it that I'm going to plan and schedule. I will probably practice more than just twice a week. But that's sort of like really all the practice I need to really get what my goal is for the week. And again, I'm trying to make this sort of relatable and accessible. You don't have to practice like 2 hours every single day. But if you do practice 2 hours every single day, then maybe doing this template for each day would be really valuable, so that, again, you have a clear idea of what you're going after. But my general goal for the week is to just get that first page a little more confident at tempo, and get those hard parts in the sonatine really solid, really comfortable with the metronome. And again, probably I'm going to be going under tempo for that. So it's a pretty relaxed goal. I'm working towards performing these pieces on a recital probably in like October. So I have plenty of time to get really comfortable and good with them. So just little bits, little progress at a time. And that's all it takes. You don't have to learn an entire piece, get an entire piece performance ready in a week. You just have to take one step. So this is what my full template looks like. Nothing too crazy at all. And that's what I want for you too, is something that's really accessible, really manageable, something that you can actually put in your calendar, commit to those times. And this is honestly even better for those of you who are busy. I mentioned that as sort of an excuse in the beginning, is like, oh, maybe when I have more time to practice, it would be good to really structure it like this. But the best time to structure your practice like this is when you are busy, because you have all kinds of things going on in life. But if you can just commit to this half hour or this hour on this day is my practice time and I'm going to get the work done there, then it's a really simple and easy thing to keep taking those little steps forward. As long as you keep taking steps, you'll get there eventually. It's when you stop taking the steps or you start walking backwards that you don't make it to your destination. So I hope this has been helpful and a good reminder to just really get in there and do the work. Again, leave some comments. Let me know if this has been helpful for you, if this has been working. And right when I'm done, go fill out your template, figure out how things are going in your reflection, what's your goal for this week or this day or the practice session that you have next, and what's your plan? When are you going to do it? Put it in your calendar. That's the last step. Right after I'm done with this, I'm going to go make events in my calendars, set reminders so that I'm really committed and sticking to this practice. So go do that. Have a great week of practicing. Let me know how this is going for you. And I'll see you next week on the next live Monday Music Motivation. Bye. Have a great week.